오늘 드릴 말씀은
Today,
화합과
I would like to share a message with the title of Harmony and Heavenly Fortune.
지금의 세계를 보면
If you look at this world,
말세다라고 하는
we say it is the last days,
세상이
and it feels like it is last days, and that's how
우크라이나 전쟁
the world is chaotic. The
4년이
Ukraine war, it's been
끝나지도 않고
4 years, but it's not. It's ongoing. In our war in Iran, they say that they have negotiated,
태엽이 또
but you never know what's gonna happen because there's a tension and risk
이란의
where they block
많은
Hormuz
석유 수송
area,
어려움도 있고
which cause problems for the world to
경제적으로
receive oil. And because of that, entire world is having difficulty economically.
불안하죠.
But politically, it's also very,
사모님께서
it's in great tension. So
한 구절
let us read True Mother's words.
오늘 우리는 참으로 중요한
Today we are facing an unprecedented, historical, and revolutionary great transformation era within God's providential administration. The returning Lord, the Messiah, the Savior, and true Father, who came as a root of humanity's good lineage, has now departed to the spirit world. Therefore, we have come to stand at a providential starting point where we must inherit true parents' victory realm and establish kingdom of peace ideal.
여기 여러분 이제 사진에 보시는 것처럼
Just as you see in the picture,
역사적인
right now,
대전환기다. 역사적인
we are
혁명의
facing
대전환기다라는
historic and revolutionary great transformation era.
2차 7년 노정이 2020
The second 7-year course, which is from 2020 to 2027, while we are on this course, there are Cain-type people and organization, and
나락으로 떨어지는
they are falling into collapse because of the corruption they have made.
아벨형의
And on the other side, Avatar figures,
운세가 상승돼서
their fortune, heavenly fortune is rising.
X와 같은 글자 모양.
And just like the alphabet
문제는
X,
그 중간에 충돌이 벌어진다는 거죠.
they are
인물 또 가인에게
push,
이익은
humanities are moving in that direction. But in the center, when the center point of the X where the lines meet, there are conflict, collisions, and war.
역사의 주체가
So
되어서
those who will eventually,
승리를
the able time will eventually become the leaders who will stand amidst this collision and conflict to lead this world to the better place. Even now, True Mother is walking the course of cosmic trials.
이런 역사적인 상황을 보면
We in Korea we're facing difficulties. In Japan, their churches have been dissolved. In a way, we're seeing the problem, but at the same time, it is our opportunity, great opportunity for us.
기회는 우리가 하나 되고 화합할 때 천운에 의해서
And threat and opportunity, depending on how much we become one, the providence can be advanced. Let me share True Parents' words.
성님이 복을
It means if the elder brother does not pray for blessing, one cannot enter heaven.
가인이 아벨을
The world of faith is trying to enter heaven by taking the position of younger brother Abel, who died in the Garden of Eden after Cain killed Abel. How does the elder brother treat the people of that world of faith? Cain and Abel must become one. It is only when the younger brother who was killed can become one with the elder brother to the extent that he can receive the older brother's blessing, that it can be done. The elder brother killed the younger brother, but he must become one with the heart of being able to love him as his own parents before the elder brother who killed him. As shown in the photo, although Cain killed Abel, Abel must embrace Cain and to guide Cain to the better side. When Cain offered his things to God, God didn't accept it, and Cain felt the lack of love, and the lack of love that Abel felt exactly. And if Abel tried to support him, this kind of incident, the murder would not have happened. But Abel became arrogant, which caused conflicts, which eventually led Cain to kill Abel, the first murder of humanity. So that's why in the Bible it is said that your enemy is within your family. So within husband and wife, they can become enemies. Brothers and sisters within one family can become enemies. If you look at the world, they're killing each other, they're fighting with each other. So that is why we must practice true love to become one. Practice a true love that loves enemies. In this word, although Cain killed Abel, Abel must have the heart to embrace Cain with the parental heart to love Cain. So what that love is, the practice of true love that loves enemies. We may know within our heads, but what's important is for us to practice. From now on, let us reach your parents' words. From now on, humanity will have many exchanges with the world of transcendence. That is spiritual experiences they have never experienced before. Humanity will be greatly influenced, both directly and indirectly, by spiritual phenomena that occur frequently. In particular, humans who experience inspiration through the history of God and good spirits will center on God and bring about a decisive change in character along with the development of spirituality. A person who has changed the character suitable for the heavenly way is a true human being that God has hoped for. All of us must practice true love that loves enemies, because true people who know the spirit world correctly and become true parents to establish a true family. After Foundation Day, we have come back to the place of heaven, and because true parents proclaim completion, perfection of the providence, that now we are living under the direct governance of Heavenly Parent. And I'm certain that you heard all those testimonies. Our second and third generation young people are experiencing spiritual Father spiritually, heaven spiritually, letting them the spiritual eyes to be open. So this kind of spiritual experiences will occur a lot more in the future. So when we align our soul through CheonBo, aligning our frequency to heaven, you'll be able to see you'll be able to experience spiritual experiences. And we are witnessing through the testimonies. Apostle Paul, he captured Christians, killed and confined Christians, but on the road to Damascus, he had a spiritual experience. Jesus comes down and calls Apostle Paul, Saul, why are you killing my people? And upon listening to this message, although he didn't know where those words are coming from, and he became blind because of the light that came to him, and eventually Jesus took Saul to the spirit world and experienced the spirit world. And because of that, Saul was able to overcome his mistakes and became great missionary. So Jesus, although from Jesus' point of view, Saul should have been like an enemy, but Jesus led Saul to change himself, his attitude and his heart, which revived and resurrected him. So when you come into training center, this is a gate, and on the left and right it says peace heaven and earth heaven. What this means is that the earthly world and spirit world and even hell must be standardized. By pioneering that path, one must be able to break down the gates of hell and open the gates of heaven up to the peace heaven base. It is to make it so that God can come and go freely anywhere in the earthly world and the spirit world. It means that the boundary called hell is useless to God. One must tear all of that down. Who knows that? Then what is it that Reverend Moon has done? It is tearing down what was blocked off from the earthly world and the spirit world down to hell. Therefore, one must pave the highway. It must be standardized. So Heavenly Parent's dream was not creating hell. All humanity and an entire cosmos must be standardized centering on heaven, but because of Adam and Eve's mistake, because of their fall, heaven and hell has been divided. And from there, discrimination, war, anxiety, hatred, all this fallen nature rose up. And evil spirits and evil people also came, and Satan spread those evil people, holding on to entire world by himself, Satan. And in order to destroy the strategy of Satan, true parents bless four great saints and evil people. Let us look at true parents' work. On April 13th, a great revolution occurred in the spirit world. Followers like Jesus, Shakyamuni, Confucius, and Muhammad all must become one before the Master. You have center on Christianity and re-educate them. That is why the four great saints, even Socrates, were blessed, right? Satan, devil, Hitler, Mussolini, and Tozo, then Stalin, all of them were blessed. Since they were blessed, do they become on Satan's side or on heaven's side? They become on heaven's side. Jesus also lived alone until now. There was no partner. Through blessing the evil people, just like how Apostle Paul was witness and became who he is, true parents bless these evil people like Stalin, Mussolini, and Tojo and Stalin, and allowing them to work in the heavens world. And as they were blessed, they can witness to the evil people, revolutionizing the hell. If you look at the photo, do you know who this guy is? The male. That is Hitler. When evil people were blessed, the deaconess asked, who did Hitler receive blessing with? And she asked the true father, and the father said, it is a Jewish woman. Hitler killed 6 million Jewish. So, when Hitler was matched to the Jewish, the beautiful woman, she was happy. But later on, as she realized that she was a Jewish, she was a Jew, so Hitler said, I cannot receive this blessing. But the concept of true love is that even though you have enemy, you must restore the enemy with true love. And this woman, she may have a heart of anger towards Hitler, but she wanted to embrace Hitler with love. That is why Hitler was able to receive blessing with Jewish. Let us reach your parents. It means that on a global scale, saints and murderers were blessed together. You must know that those who want to go to heaven are more desperate than the saints. I bless everyone, including Stalin, Mussolini, and Hitler. I bless them just like Jesus, Confucius, Muhammad, and Shakyamuni. Why? Because those people didn't know heaven. If they knew heaven, they would be more desperate than anyone else, more desperate than the saints. It means the saints are exhausted. If people like Mussolini knew about the kingdom of heaven, how hard would they work? It means the day is not far when, if they repent, they could repent to the point of being willing to burn their bodies rather than just wailing before them. Then all is forgiven. That is why I'm commanded to say to people like Mussolini, hey, you guys, organize your factions and clean up the subordinate satanic factions. It is because I told Lucifer to organize the remnants of Lucifer, as they are many. So, in the hell, the evil people are the ones revolutionizing their realm through true love. So today, the title that I shared was Harmony and Heavenly Fortune. And in order for harmony to occur, Cain and Abel must become one first. Cain and Abel restoration is exactly that. Do you understand? We are in a relationship of Cain and Abel to one another. Because we are Cain and Abel to one another, if you are in a position of Abel, you must necessarily become one with Cain. You cannot save a nation without becoming one with established churches, and without Cain and Abel, the denominational Cain and Abel becoming one. You cannot restore nation. The true mother has been emphasized that we must educate. Epic history shows how people of Korea. She told us to educate the Christianity. The reason she told us this is because through the harmony of Cain and Abel type people, heavenly fortune will come down. True Father, when she was in prison in Denver for 13 months, what True Father told the leaders of Christian, what True Father did was that he sent the videotape of Divine Principle lectures to the Christian pastors. In the past, we didn't have internet or any of the things like that. But so, as you see in the photo, our sisters and brothers and sisters went to Christian pastors to share our content. There were Christian pastors were invited to listen to Divine Principle lectures, and also the Christian pastor, upon listening to all this all these lectures and education, they started a protest to free our True Father, and eventually True Father was released, and after True Father was released, God and Freedom Banquet welcomed Reverend Sungmin with the God and Freedom National Committees. This kind of a banquet was held, and 1,600 Christian pastors came to held the banquet. And this is Pomnekor in Busan, which is holy ground. So for 3 years, throughout 38 times, more than 7,000 Christian pastors came. So Korean Christians, as they saw American pastors come here to listen and hear what they say, they were very moved. They were able to open the new era. So through that, Christian and Unification Church became one, and because of that, the Victoria Foundation has laid for true parents to advance the progress. When I crossed the hill, it was a temporary detention in America. At the time, all individuals in the world, families, tribes, people, and nations of the satanic world and various ideologies combining the materialistic view of history and the idealist view of history of communism shouted manse. But that is a manse of ruin. It is a full-scale struggle as soon as the master came out. As soon as I came out, they were trembling. To defend against them, I brought 7,000 pastors to Korea and educated them. I educated 70,000 people and brought 7,000 to Korea to finish all the education. So, by Christian Unification Church, Cain and Abel becoming one, true parents were able to make victorious foundation. And because of that, in 1990, April 11th, he was able to meet Gorbachev, naturally making Gorbachev naturally submit himself, and surrender himself. In 1991, true parents also met Kim Il-sung, making him surrender. So once Cain and Abel harmonize, that's when the providence can develop and move forward. Let us read true parents first. I am a person who knows that Kim Il-sung and Gorbachev dispatched 25 members of enemy force in February 1987 to assassinate me. That was going to meet the mastermind in an environment where the investigation by CIA had not yet ended. I went risking my life. Going there is different. What are you holding and going? It means I went treating them like the prodigal son. I went with the heart of a parent, not heart of brother, not heart of an enemy. Because I went with the heart of a parent, the heart of God, even the devil cannot lay a hand before God. So when true parents went to Moscow, Gorbachev did not promise to meet true parents. But when true parents went there through President Pak Boi and through the media, a lot of conversation went with the secretary of the Gorbachev, and suddenly true parents were able to meet. So heaven's providence, it doesn't occur according to your thoughts. Only when you believe that it's going to work and push yourself forward, that's when the Holy Spirit will come down to make things work. This is Golden Wedding Anniversary of True Parents. In the back of the banner, if you see, it says that Heavenly Parent and Cosmic Cain and Abel Peace Settlement Assembly. So on the 50th anniversary of their holy wedding, Heavenly Parent has come down because Heavenly Parent is residing with the true parents. Cain and Abel must become one. Now it's not time for conflict, but we have come down to settlement era, the peace. The concept of enemy, there's no such concept anymore because we make people make everyone to surrender with true love. As long as we practice true parents' words, we can naturally make Satan to surrender himself. We can receive such victorious foundation to make that work. That is why we must become one with true parents. Let us read. The Golden Wedding Anniversary is third marriage ceremony conducted since the 1960 holy marriage, and 2003 Heavenly Parent Cheon-bo Gate opening blessing marriage ceremony, through which the gate of grace of resurrection blessing was bestowed to enable all humanity to be reborn as heavenly family from the standard of a worldly family. First, this era heading toward the year 3000 is the era of the later heaven transformation. The era of transformation is a new era where God is no longer bound by the principle of indemnity and governs the spirit and physical world through the sovereign authority of the King of Kings. Second, humanity must complete the education revolution that educates people with heavenly laws, centering on God as the absolute axis and setting absolute sexual values. This is the only way to transmit the lineage of good to humanity and complete ideal of God's true family. Purity, fidelity, and true love will become the educational ideology in the future. The ideology of the future true humanity. So it is clearly burned down all of Satan's walls and fortress fences that have kept the earth divided, and to put new peace kings and peace ambassadors and UN at the forefront to find and establish harmony and peace between political parties, religion, race, culture, and nations. So centering on Heavenly Parent's ideal and Heavenly Parent's law, they proclaim these words. So there are Cain and Abel side religion. So there are absolute monotheism and absolute monotheism, Yahweh. Anyway, so how are we going to make them one? Cain and Abel must not fight. There's no one but us to educate Islam and Christianity to become one. Islam is structured to kill as soon as they meet. Therefore, you must quickly make this a central focus at a higher level and cross the path. That is why the Master is urging education as the highest key. So, in 1993, Rabin and Arafat peace agreement signing. And after this, we had a founding of Peace UN. So in 2003, on December 22nd, 2003, countless Jewish, Christian, Islamic religious leaders held hands and sang of peace. Thousands of religious leaders gathered like clouds in Jerusalem, an epicenter of the Middle East conflict, to hold an interreligious and transnational peace march. On December 22nd, 2003, countless Jewish, Christian, and Islamic religious leaders held hands and sang of peace and held a coronation ceremony to crown Jesus as the King of Kings. During the time we held a coronation ceremony for Jesus, it is a dreamlike story. Do you know how big of an incident and major event this will become in history? When the time comes, people will say, "Oh my, why didn't our ancestors participate?" It is a miracle that occurred at Jerusalem Independence Park, where over 20,000 people gathered. It is a miracle. In a situation where if 3 people go, 1 dies, the fact that thousands gather and enter the Jerusalem holy site from east, west, south, and north is a dreamlike, impossible fact. Look into that. Well, it is a miracle. Why is it a miracle? Because it is a day that the bitter resentment of God and Jesus is resolved. The Jerusalem Peace March made God and Jesus' resentment and sorrow of 2,000 years to be resolved. During the time President Yang Chang-shi met Arafat and took the photo, and they're offering prayer at the Jerusalem where Jesus' tomb is, gravesite is. So, as the Cain and Abel central figures become one, organizations become one, heavenly fortune can come down, and Cheon-bo has already been open. We have already come into the heaven. It's just that we, the blessed family who are in the able time,
참사랑으로 탕자와 같이
we must become the prodigal children
참사랑으로 품어야
and
합니다.
embrace people of the Cain side with true love from the heavenly parents' perspective. So the wonder of Cain and Abel is allows the heavenly parent to come down, and only then
하나님 앞에 서서 이 우주를 끌고 가는 거예요.
two parents can become one.
기독교와
So because this happens, the parents can have a coronation of King of Peace, stand before God, and lead this universe.
평화의 왕으로
So
대관식에서 하나님 앞에 서시고
the true parents became King of Kings. They stand before God and allowing God to come down
어머니께서는
to
노엘 존스 LA
true
레퓨지
parents.
교회에서 축복식을
So,
하셨어요. 2019년 4월
in
6일입니다.
2019,
미국 캘리포니아
they had a blessing ceremony, the Christianity and Family Federation.
하늘은 세계 인류를 품고자 미국을 축복하신 것입니다. 그러나 이 나라 지도자와 세계
I spoke at the City of Refugee Church in Gardner, California, USA. Heaven has blessed America to embrace all humanity, but the leaders of this country, the leaders of all nations in the world are conducting politics and actions centered on their own national interests in themselves. Therefore, there is no hope for the future. Today, those who have received the blessing should fulfill the responsibility of their respective tribal messiahs, and furthermore, the religious leaders present here should fulfill the messiah's responsibility in their own churches and quickly carry out a movement to attend Heavenly Parent and God, the Creator in this country. Only that path will result in the blessed America fulfilling its responsibility before heaven. Therefore, today is the day we start to realize the dream of Heavenly Parent and desire of humanity, the one family and earthly kingdom of heaven center on Heavenly Parent. In a world moving toward peace, there is no need for guns or nuclear weapons. You all must know the fact that innocent young lives are dying because of them. We cannot just watch. What must we do? It is only possible through true love and blessing. Pastor Noel Jones, I ask you, please keep this fire burning. Thank you. So that's because of this foundation, True Mother was able to go to Noel Jones's church and give 10,000 people blessing. So with the true love, true parent, true mother went out to restore 7 nations. Love becomes the source of human happiness, life, and joy. Such precious true love is not something obtained through knowledge or external forces. True love is not obtained by the knowledge. It is meant to be felt through experience and acquired through life. In this way, humans are meant to experience God's true love step by step through life and experience during their growth period. So, growth period, formation, growth, and completion. Through that step by step, you can develop your true love. Now, what kind of world we are living in? It is a world, it is an era where Heavenly Parent is directly working. As I mentioned, true parents give blessing to 4 evil people and 4 saints. And because of that foundation, even Satan has surrendered himself. No one can stop Heavenly Parent. No one can stop true parents. Now, Heavenly Parent is directly working. It's not true parents working, but now it's time for the Heavenly Parent to work. Let us read true parents' word. We must work with Heavenly Parent as the center. That center is God. It is not the parents who take responsibility. The time has come for God to take responsibility. You must not center on yourself, but entrust it before God. If you entrust it to the spirit world, if we only maintain a relative relationship with the content led by the spirit world, the will is naturally accomplished. If we entrust everything to God, because God becomes the center, there's nothing that cannot be done. Because there is no indemnity and no opposition from Satan, God can do as He pleases. Such an era has come. The true parent told us that you must find righteous people. And righteous people are already leading the heavenly providence. And even though they may not know, they can advance a heavenly parent's providence. And one of them is Elon Musk. You heard Elon Musk, SpaceX, shooting the space center up in the universe and in the space and creating AI to create database.
열을 받아갖고
and also using the solar panel.
레이저로 지구에 쏴가지고 레이저로 받은 지구의 데이터 판넬이 다시
So
전기
basically, that panel
이제는 전기를
can shoot the laser to the panel in Korea and changing that electricity, allowing us to have electric energy to be used. So he's trying to make robots so the robots can do the work of for human beings, making all the people of the world receive benefit from it, making people not to work. This person does not know about the principle. Elon Musk was born in Africa. He's 54 years old now. When he was born, there was a leader, Mandela, and there were a lot of war conflicts went on. Terror went on in his country. So his father was alcoholic, although he was smart. So basically, Elon Musk was isolated, but in order to get away from isolation and loneliness, he went to the library and read books. He was curious about the world. He read Bible, he read Quran, but he is very smart in IT. So what he says is that as long as we can resolve economic and energy problem, then all problem can be resolved. Try to read this autobiography. Some people might call him that he's a crazy billionaire, but you must read his autobiography, who he actually is. So we must witness to righteous people. When I was in America, in Las Vegas, I told my second generation to educate Elon Musk, sending divine principle to him, sending through email, and we must witness to him. But only problem is that he has 4 wives. 4 times he was married, and he divorced, and he has 15 children. So he thinks that because he's a very smart person, he must have. His idea is that he must spread more genes out there, so that more better people can come. So if he receives blessing, he'll truly become the heavenly person. Apostle Paul, just how he was witness to Jesus as he was able to experience spirit world, just like that, now it's time for us to offer prayer and devotion so that Elon Musk can also face that, and not just Elon Musk, but many righteous people. So this world, in reality, the wealthy stays wealthy and the poor stays poor. And in this very chaotic world, I believe that Elon Musk is truly the person who can make breakthrough to break that chain. So I always pray to Heavenly Parents, to Hyojin, Hyungju님, please guide this person. So we must find the righteous people. So as Cain and Abel become one and find righteous people and sending out the words of peace, and once they receive your parents' blessing, heavenly fortune will come down. Let me make conclusion now. Because we lost the word due to disbelief, we must reestablish the foundation of faith. What is foundation of faith for? It is for our substance to stand firmly upon it. Then why do we need a foundation of substance? It is because it is a foundation where we can receive God's love and establish love even in a position where there are no conditions of merit. Because it is a principle that God and we become one only when we stand upon the foundation that can establish God's love. In order for Cain and Abel to become one, the foundation of faith, the foundation of substance must be established. In the foundation of faith, there's a central figure, and all of us blessed families are central figure. And condition can be Hundo, Kyeongbek, fasting, or answer liberation. And you set the periods 3, 7, 21, 40, 120 days. You choose. And its foundation of substance is conditioned to remove fallen nature. So when you set a condition to set the foundation of faith, when you fast, then you must fulfill what you do. If, for example, when you do fasting, even though you're hungry, you must keep yourself thinking about the promise you made. And if you just break the cycle and eat something, then you're basically breaking down your foundation of faith. And you must put yourself to practice. It is continuous to remove fallen nature, jealousy, envy, hatred, resentment may come, and that's when Satan can come in. So once you don't give up and fulfill your devotion, then Satan cannot intervene, and heavenly parent will come. Now let me make a conclusion. This is Chung words in 2024. We must find righteous people whom heaven has worked hard to raise until now by receiving cooperation from the spirit world through CheonBo. Every day is urgent. I pray that all of you will become people who can find and establish everyone without leaving a single person behind, standing at the forefront of the Family Federation UPF to save humanity and save the earth. To do that, you must confidently move forward in all aspects on your own. Where does the confidence come from? Where does your confidence come from? Can you just have confidence telling yourself, oh yes, I'll be confident? No, that's not possible. Where does confidence come from? When you resolve with life or death determination, the confidence can come. You must think like, oh, I'm gonna die tomorrow, but I'm gonna meet someone. He's VIP and I must meet him. Even in that person, if you're in that position, because you'll be dying tomorrow, whether it works or not, you will go out with confidence. So when you resolve first, when you resolve life or death determination, you will have confidence. Second, when you offer devotion, you will receive confidence. I met someone who had a 40-day fast, who did 40-day fasting, and they say that God is leading them. They don't feel hungry. The angels guide them with light. So if you enter that position, you will be filled with confidence. So if I conclude my lecture with harmony and heavenly fortune, Cain and Abel must become one, and you must pray for those whom you hate. And as you pray, your hearts will open, and when you meet that person, you will love them, hug them, and forgive them. Such foundation can be laid, and that begins from prayer. And that's why CheonBo prayer is important. And once you become one, substantially become one, heavenly fortune can come down. Cain and Abel, when Cain and Abel become one, heavenly fortune can come down. When your father was in Denbury, Christian pastors in America and our blessed families became one, eventually guiding 7,000 Christian pastors in Korea, grafting them to true parents. And because of the foundation, true parents were able to meet Gorbachev and Kim Il-sung to make victory. The golden holy wedding, the time has come where Satan cannot take control anymore. Right now, True Mother is walking the cosmic cross, path of the cosmic cross. Because True Parents taught us to educate our people, enter heaven. So whether we like it or not, whether it works or not, we must shout out to people so that those who have ears can listen. That is our responsibility. And once we become one with Cain's side, the heavenly fortune will come down, centering heavenly parents, and the heavenly fortune will eventually lead to unification of North and South Korea. North Korea is Cain, South Korea is Abel, right? So from there, eventually it will lead to the unification to the world, heavenly unified world. So because we are blinded that we listen but forget, now it is time for us to have this new perspective, to think about how we can make Cain and Abel to become one. Everywhere we go, Cain and Abel exist, not just within our church, in the secular world, Cain and Abel exist. Hate side nations and world is communism, and Abel nations are Christian and democratic world. Nations. Once those nations become one, heavenly fortune will come down. Just as the True Mother said, when True Mother is walking the course of the cross, she said that I will bear all the indemnity, all the faults. So do not worry about me. Pray for you, your family, and pray for Unification Church and for heavenly parents' will to be accomplished. With this, I hope you receive abundant heavenly fortune, and I will conclude my message.